Hi all. So today in this video we'll be discussing about how we can select value from Angular reactive form drop-down without select an options tag. So you might have seen this kind of drop down, or if you are working on any Angular application or a reactive application, you may not see select tag or options tag. So in that case, how do you select those drop downs values from those fields using Playwright? Right. So for that, let me show you one application where I have found uh, this this kind of drop down. So this is basically one sample application, and here is the code written also. And this is basically Angular application. And if I click on it, you can see level 1 and level 2 is coming, and I can select level 2 or I can select level 1. Right. So if you have to automate this thing, like selecting the value, this value, so how do you do that? Right. And if you're wondering how do I get this application link, right, I'll share this link with you. Just a quick thing, like actually I searched for it in the Google. I got this link from Stack Overflow, and I just scroll down, and here is the link, working stack village. So it's redirected me to this URL. So if we directly just copy this link and just here paste it, it will work, right? So now let's see if we can automate this part, right? So let me open the PyCharm, and let me create a file, and let's name it as test Angular dropdown. Okay, and let's add it, and let's take the template from testrefresh.py, paste it, and we do not need this part, so we are removing this three part as well. Okay, so our let's rename it as well, test non-select dropdown or non-select dropdown, right? So let me copy paste the URL as well. Yeah. So we navigated to this page now. Now what we have to do, we have to click on it, right? So let's inspect it. So you can see this is the URL. Sorry, this is the element which is highlighting in the DOM. So if I hover over it, you can see the highlighting. It's yeah. So now what we can try, let's take the okay, I think I can use CSS. So yeah, it's highlighting, right? So let's create a locator for it. So it should be the drop down, and I can create like page dot locator, and this is the locator. Okay, now I have clicked on it. Now I got these two options, right? So you can easily click on it. I mean, just like normally you do the click operation. That's it. I mean, see, this type of drop down is you can handle like this only. Okay, so once we click on it, you have to select these two options. Okay, now one thing you have to note, this page is coming under iframe. I already have created a video how to handle iframe, so you can watch that video. I will put that link of that video in this in the description as well, or maybe in the eye icon you can find it. Okay, and now, so first we have to switch to this frame, but there is no such concept of switching to the frame. So there is a different way to handle it. So basically, I will show you here. It's very easy. So what you have to do, like page dot locator. So this is the child locator, right? So before that, what we have to do, page dot uh, frame. Okay, and the frame, is there any frame name? Let's check that. So here is the input tag, and here the iframe, right? So the title is preview page. Yeah, the name is available. So preview frame is the name. So I can just give it here, right? and we do not have to use this page. So what we are doing, we just first identified the frame locator. From the frame locator we are getting our actual locator which we want need it. So it's like selecting element based on another element. So for this also we have another video you can watch in the playlist. Okay, so now we can easily click on it. So we handle the iframe and also we have identified the actual locator. So this is the drop down locator and we are clicking on it, and once we click on it we should get this option, right? Now let's inspect it. So okay, so here is the li tag and here's the level 1, right? So we can take this and slash slash ul at the rate class equals to this one. So we got this ul tag. From this we have to go li, right? And in that li we can do like contains dot and give the options which you want to select. So um, okay, did I miss anything? Let's copy it and add it here. So yeah, now it's working. So this is the locator of the level 1. So if you have to select level 2, you have to just change it to level 2. That's it. So basically you can create a dynamic XPath through which we can identify it, right? So let's do that. So uh, so options, right? So option is like this is the option, select option or drop down option, page dot locator, and this one, right? So this is the level 2 option. I will show you how we can create a dynamic XPath also, or maybe we can do it. So before that, just try to see like whether it's working or not. So drop down option dot click, right? And also, if you notice one thing, this is also under that same iframe, right? Here it is. So we have to first navigate to that iframe, or I mean, not like that, but yeah. So we have to identify this locator based on this frame locator. Okay, so we got our drop down options. For now, we have selecting the level 2 because level 1 would be the default value. Okay, and we can now, yeah, I think that's it. We can check it now whether it's working or not. So let me run it. Dash headed, and here I can mention basics, taste, Angular, and is there anything I have to pass? Yeah. So I'm giving a slow motion equals to 3000 millisecond. Yeah. So let's run it. Let's see what is happening now. So browser got launched. So you can see level 2 got selected and it passed as well. So our task is done. So we have wanted to select level 2, that is also done. Now let's see how we can refactor this code to make it uh, more sophisticated, right? So what we can do, we can create a method called select dropdown. Okay, and let's send the page and the value which you want to select. So we want to select level 2, right? So we have to give this option here. And now let's create this method or function, create function select dropdown. Okay, so this is the value. Okay, so let's take it, take this two part and paste it here. So basically drop down option equals to page dot frame preview frame and this part. Now we need to make it as dynamic. So very easy. We have to use f string and just give this value here like this, right? So we have added if here and the value which is dynamic. So this value will be changing as per the value will be passing here, right? So if you're passing 5, so it should come here as a 5. And if you're passing level 1, it should come here as a level 1. That's like that. So this is how we do the string formatting in Python. Okay, now we are clicking on it. So this code looks good. So let's see whether it's working or not. Okay, it's failed. Let's see what is the problem. Attribute error, none type object has no attribute locator. Okay, okay, very strange. Let's rerun again. Okay, it's again failing. So why is that so? It's failing. Um, Maybe what is happening, it's not waiting. It's actually failing here only. So we haven't changed anything, right? This was the same code that we have run before. So one thing I can try, I can give a timeout here. So timeout equals to 60 thousandths millisecond, and let's try it. And also this part looks good, page dot frame preview frame undefined, because if you noticed uh, it was not loading properly, so maybe because of that it's happening. We can give some hard-coded sleep as well, because this is not actually application, right? This is just a kind of editor where we can code it and see the result. Okay, now it's loaded. So it actually worked, that 60-second timeout. So if your page is taking more time to load, in that case you can try this timeout equals to, I mean, you can just increase the default timeout. Okay, so it passed, right? So we have successfully refactored our code. Now let's see, is there any different approach we can try? So we have seen like how we can use some dynamic XPath and create a generic method to pass this value, and it is actually recommended approach, but there is another approach you can try. Okay, so that is like iterating over these values and selecting based on a condition. Okay, so what I'm talking about, let's do that as well. So here I'm just adding one surf or okay hashtag to comment out, and now I am writing. Let's me do that. So basically what I'm trying to do, I just wanted to get this whatever locator is available after this li tag. Okay, so this list tag is having first locator, this is the first and this is the second one, right? So let's say there is five locator, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. So for that, what you do, we have to just iterate over it. So basically we'll be running a for loop or while loop. So you will be iterating over it and we'll be checking whether the current value, current option, this current option is level, whatever the level you want to choose, that is the same or not. If it is not, then it will go to level 2. If it is not, it will go to level 3, like that. And once it found, let's say level 4 is the option that you want to choose, so it will just select it and break from the loop. That's it. So let's do that. So my drop down options, so this is options, right? I mean, this is not one node or one element, right? So this will return us multiple, one moment, page dot locator. So yeah, so drop down option page dot locator, and this is the selector. So it will return multiple elements. But if you check the type, or maybe this is not a list, okay, because this is just a locator. I mean, the type of this drop down option is would be a locator, not a list. This is not same as driver dot find elements. Okay, remember that. And now what we have to do here, basically, now actually if I do print drop down options dot count, so this will actually return us two node or two elements, just two. Okay, because there is two node which is matching here. Right, now we can do one thing, we can run a while loop. So index equals to 0 while index is greater than, index is greater than drop down options dot count. Right. So, I mean, our while loop should run until this index value is greater than, I mean, should not greater than drop down options dot count. So, if the drop down option is returned is true, so at the first when 0 greater than 2, so it will go inside this loop. So, after that, we'll increase the index by 1, so it will become 1. So, it will go again because 1 greater 1, sorry, while index less than drop down options dot count, right? Because 0 less than 2, then it will make this condition as true. After that, 0 become 1, so 1 less than 2, yes, so it will go inside the while loop. Again it will increment and it will become 2, so 2 less than 2, no, and it will just break the while loop. That's it. Okay, now let's add a condition. If what, if this drop down option, okay, dot init, dot init of what, init of index. So what it will return, so let's say index is currently 0, so it will go 0 less than 2. Now it will go drop down option dot init of 0. So init of 0, what is that, init of 0, this one level 1, right? So it gets level 1 option. Now I will be getting single locator now, right? It will fetch us a single locator. Now we'll be using inner text, which will be giving us the visible text. So if this inner text equals to the options which you want to validate. So the options which you want to validate is the level 1. So where is that option? Here it is, level 2. If this is level 2, then only it should select. First it will become first, for the first iteration it will get level 1, so it will not match, right? So it will not just fulfill the condition of if condition, so it will go to the next one, and in the next one it will become level 2. So once it get level 2, what we wanted to do, we want to click on it. So let's copy this part. This is the locator and we want to click on it. That's it. Okay, and one thing to note here, we have to again use this page dot preview frame because this is under frame iframe. Okay, so this if condition is done. Now we have to use a, here we have to add a break. That's it. And also we need to increment the index. So here it is. So let me explain it once again. Okay, so plus equals to 1. Plus plus is not there in Python, so we have to use plus equals to 1 or index equals to index plus 1. That's it. So what we are doing, we are just checking index is less than dropdown options dot count. So for the first iteration 0, 0 less than 2, the while loop is true. So it will inside the while loop. Now again it will check for this if condition. So for this if condition, it will not be true because the first option is level 1, so level 1 not equals to level 2, so I mean not equals to level 2. That is why this if condition will not be there. I mean this if condition will not be executed, so it will just increment this index by 1, so it will become 1 from 0 to 1, and here it will get init of 1. Init of 1 is level 2. Okay, so it will match and it will click on it and it will break the while loop. That's it. So now we have selected it. Now let's see whether it's working or not. We can also make it a reusable code. Let's see we can if you can do it a bit later. So let's run it once again. Okay, I made a mistake here. I just added a semicolon. That is not needed. Okay, here it is already launched, and you can see it clicked on it and it's selected also. So level 2 is selected. That's great. So we we could also handle this drop down option by iterating over the drop down values, right? So let's also make a reusable code. So we can simply copy this part. See, basically this the first one is the recommended one. Okay, you always should use the first one. Second one is also good, but it's might be, I mean, depending on the purpose, you can use it. So let's copy this part, not this one, this part. Okay, just do this and drop down option while loop, reformat it. So here we are using page.frame and this is the locator we are getting. This is fine. This is not a dynamic locator or dynamic expert, so that is fine. Now you can see this it should print as 2 as well. Yeah, 2. So this line is not needed. This is just for seeing this whether 2 gets printed or not. So yeah, you can see it. And here index equals to 0, that's fine. This is the index is getting initialized here, and this part is also good. And here what we will be doing, here we'll be putting this value. Okay, that's it. And also we can now remove the select drop down option and let's enter it, control and space. So select drop down while loop. Yeah, and let's run it once again. So browser got launched. So let's see whether it's clicking on level 2. Yeah, level 2 got selected and it should close. Yep. So that's it for today's video. If you like the video, please do like it and please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed it yet. Okay, so have a nice day. Bye bye.